3.
The views and opinions expressed by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show are solely based on the show's hosts, guests, and viewers, and we are solely responsible for all show content in its entirety and does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of our sponsors in any way. These broadcasts are presented and made public by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show in the hope that it will be entertaining and informative to our viewers and listening audience.
Good Tuesday evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. Tonight, sponsored by Southern Gym Photo Booth and Start. Not only do we bring fun to your event, we make it picture perfect. And by our newest sponsor, Designed by Pros. Decals and graphics custom made. Visit Designed by Pros on Facebook. This is your show coming to you live on Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday and Saturday night. You control and run this show. We are just the rudder that steers this big old vessel. We bring it to you first for education, discussion, and debate of local news, politics, and sports, as well as the latest on the COVID-19 situation. We have you covered from Middleburg to Melrose to McIntosh, from Lake City to Lake Butler to Lake Como, from Waldo to Williston, from Lottie to Lulu, and all points in between, including Gainesville, Palatka, Ocala, and of course, right here in beautiful Stark, Florida. Now, here's your on-the-spot team making it happen every single week. First, putting it all together behind the scenes, our executive producer, Super Dave Holland. Say hello, David.
Hello, everybody.
And keeping the flow of the show is our director, Michael, the Dragon Slayer Heater. Say hello, Michael.
Yo.
Rounding out the team is Austin Storm Chaser Stevens and John Better Than Snow Strokes. They are on special assignment tonight, and we wish them well in what they're doing. And our great media partners, WEAG Eagle Country 106.3 FM, Chuck and Mary Kramer Lynn Velez, and the Bradford County Telegraph, and their great staff. And now our co-host, to my right, your left, with local news and breaking information, Mitchell, the local voice on current events, Gunter.
Good afternoon, everyone.
All right, and to my left and your right, he is our historian governmental whiz, Byron, the freedom fighter, Bagwell.
Good evening, infidels.
All right, and I'm your host, David Rodgers, the voice of Bradford High Tornadoes, and
The Show Pony.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We are coming to you live from the On the Spot studios, right here along historic Call Street in beautiful downtown Stark, Florida, only 1,283 miles from Mosquitoville, Vermont. You didn't know there was such thing, did you, Byron?
No, and guess what?
What?
I guarantee you it's not as bad as some of the places around here.
Well, so you're right about that. So let's get started as we always do with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic wisdom from the freedom fighter himself. All right. Let us pray. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let us once thank again for a wonderful and glorious day, dear Lord. Thank you for letting us be able to do this show each and every week, and Thank you for this beautiful Tuesday night you've given us. Thank you, dear Lord, as we disseminate this information to our viewers, and our viewers will be able to respond as they see fit and need in their hearts. Thank you again for letting us live in the greatest country in the world today. That's the United States of America, the freest country in the world, dear Lord. And I'll tell you, we've got a lot of situations going on, but you can touch each and every one of these people, dear Lord, and let's bring this country back to where it was, and that's one great nation. Thank you for the armed forces and all the armed forces as they are out there fighting for our freedoms and our rights. Thank you again, and keep a hedge of protection over them and bring them home safe to their families. Thank you for the food that we receive each and every day as it goes in the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. Again, thank you again, dear Lord, for everything that you do. Please touch those with spoken or unspoken prayer requests. You know what's in their hearts, their souls, and their minds, and you touch them as you see and need fit, dear Lord. Again, thank you for every day. Thank you for life itself. And thank you as we go throughout the rest of the week until we're able to convene again. We ask for these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. And the congregation says, Amen. Let us stand for the pledge, please. And I'm going to ask the local guy, Mr. Mitchell Gunter, to lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. All right, Mr. Bagwell, I've got a couple here too. I don't know if you have one, but I've got a couple. Do you mind if I read a couple right here real
Go
quick?
right on ahead. I've got a great one, too.
All right. There are men and women who make the world better just by being the kind of people they are. They have the gifts of kindness or courage or loyalty and or integrity. It really matters very little when they are behind the wheel of a truck or running a business or bringing up a family. They teach the truth by living it. You know who said that?
Nope.
Mr. James Garfield himself.
Really?
James Garfield said that. And I've got another one right here. If you want total security, go to prison. There, you're fed, clothed, given medical care, and so on. The only thing lacking there is freedom. You know who said that?
Probably Donald Trump would be my guess.
No, pretty close though. No. Who do you think said that?
OJ?
Sheriff Gordon Smith.
Yeah. That was actually George Washington that said that.
I
about that?
I honestly can believe that.
There you go.
I honestly can believe that.
All
My
right.
quote of the day is a good one, and I'm not 100% sure I've ever shared this one before. I probably have, because it's one of my favorite quotes from any politician of any time period. Because it particularly affects us today in the situation we are in. I want everybody to think about this one. Think about what's going on in this country and what is causing. The root cause of our problems is exactly what this man is talking about. Saw it firsthand in World War II,
Okay.
and when you figure out who this is, you'll understand why I picked this one.
Okay.
Socialism is a philosophy of failure, the creed of ignorance, and the gospel of envy. Its inherent virtue is the equal sharing of misery.
Wow.
I'm going to take a guess. Winston Churchill.
That's what I was going to say as well.
It was Winston Churchill.
Wow.
Man, I'm getting better on my quotes.
And if you don't believe that is right, all you have to do is take a look at the current state of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
The whole entire thing can be boiled down to a philosophy that has been ingrained into some people's minds that allow them to act and do the things that they are doing today, and that philosophy is socialism. Go a little bit deeper than it, because there are some leaders of these movements who are avowed Marxists, which means they're trying to actually bring about communist revolution in this country. You see it happening today. I'm not trying to scare anybody,
No.
but that's exactly what's going on with this, and it needs to be put to a stop.
Yes.
Amen.
I got one, especially with what's going on today.
Mm-hmm.
Give me liberty or give me death.
Yeah, man.
That's a good one.
Don't take away my liberties.
Right. Amen. You got that right. All right, we're moving on. Before we delve into today's latest, we want to recognize our great sponsors who have been working hard with limited staff and changing hours. This is our sponsor spotlight. All right, Fun Point Food and Arcade, Southern Gym Photography, Miracle Automotive and Recovery, and Dependable Waste Services.
And Williams Jewelry on Call Street, Brittany Leanne Creations, Michael here, Saban and Schuster Law Offices, and the Downtown Grill.
Hurry Business of Stark, Boogie Nights DJ service, designs by Probes, and on the spot lawn maintenance.
How about that, huh?
They do good work. Let me tell
Yeah,
you.
boy, man. I tell you, we had a yard yesterday, boy, that gave us one, and we got another one tomorrow that may give us the same.
It's not going to give you the same, only up front.
They're only up front.
And speaking of Harry Business, hopefully he'll be real busy in giving us a buzz real soon.
And Michael,
If we can.
yeah.
He's going to have to give
Photos.
this mop a
Yeah.
cut before that happens.
Yeah.
I've got to have something done to this.
I got my shears oiled up.
I'm wearing a hat because it's unmanageable
Got
right
my
now.
wings.
Yeah, so if you can, keep on contributing
Yeah,
to
we'll
the
talk
food
about that.
pantry.
Yeah,
And
we'll talk about that
a little
Mitchell.
later.
Yeah, we sure
Well,
will.
there's another. I know that there's at least one more check coming to you.
Oh, yeah, I know it. I know. And now here's your quick and dirty tonight, brought to you by Fun Point Food and Arcade and Start. Check out the all-new menu on Facebook or www.funpointstart.com. We start in Bradford County as firefighters dealt with a hazardous materials crash south of Start this afternoon. One southbound lane of US 301 was shut down for a short period of time after a delivery truck rear-ended a commercial van carrying paint and acetone, causing the acetone to leak. The crash is still under investigation. In another hazmat-related story, officials discovered 55-gallon drums floating down Sampson River near the three-pipe structure at County Road 225 on Sunday morning. Officials responded and quickly determined that the drums were from a floating dock and posed no threat to the environment. The drums were properly disposed of. 2 Putnam County deputies have tested positive for COVID-19, and one of them remains in the hospital. Both appear to have been exposed while off duty and were not related incidents.
Prayers.
Marion County deputies are searching for a 15-year-old missing endangered teen. 15-year-old Sierra Bennett left her home on Southwest 60th Avenue in Ocala 2 days ago and hasn't been seen since. Bennett, a white female, last wearing an orange shirt and camo shorts, has a medical condition and may be in danger. Anyone with information, please contact the Marion County Sheriff's Office. Here now is the Dragon Slayer himself with your weather update. Sponsored by Austin's Weather Service out of Keystone Heights. Find AWS on Facebook for the latest information.
All right. Hey, good evening, Dave and company. Just a quick update on what's going on. We've got some scattered severe storms that have broken out over New Mexico and into the western part of Texas this evening. While further west, the dangerous heat wave grips California. Now, locally, we saw some storms roll through the area this afternoon, and we're going to see another round of storms tomorrow, but not nearly as intense and not nearly the coverage that we saw this afternoon. The weather system is going to be bringing some flash flood potential as we go through the next few days as the system continues to move through the northwestern part of the country. For tonight, any lingering showers will be over by 11 p.m., and we'll see lows around 74 degrees tonight. Again, tomorrow, variably cloudy, hot once again, heat index pushing 100 degrees, and only a 20% chance of rain as it passes through. The tropics are quiet once again, fortunately, for now. Again, we're still watching some models as one system developed off the coast of the Carolinas and has since moved on out towards the northeast. But we'll be keeping an eye on that as things progress. Back to you, David.
Hey, I appreciate that, Michael. Thank you for that wonderful weather update. And once again, this weather report was brought to you by Austin's Weather Service out of Keystone Heights. Find AWS on Facebook and get a local forecast sent right to you. We got it. We do? Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, we got a good one. All right. And up now is our local report with the all-knowing Mr. Mitchell Gunner. Brought to you tonight by Miracle Automotive and Recovery in Stark and McClinney. When you have an automotive crisis, don't pray for a miracle, Mitchell. You call Miracle at 904-368-1114. And that would be Kenny and Kirk Miracle.
That's right.
Kirk right here out of Stark and Kenny out of McClinney.
And they
How about that?
And
Rhyming?
they respond fast too.
Yes, they do.
I'm proof.
I hear you. And Michael Heater's proof too. So anyway, back to you, Mitchell. How's it going today? I hope everything went well for you at work today. What do you have for us on the local front?
Well, first off, I'm going to start off with the COVID-19.
Yeah.
Because cases are on the rise, and a lot of that is due to testing, and also a lot of people getting back to their normal activities. But people, we still got to be careful. We got to keep our hands washed at all times. Keep them off your face, especially when you're in public places. So right now, the total of cases for the state of Florida is 103,503, and as you can tell, that's a pretty large increase. 2,200 of those are non-Florida residents. Now we'll dip on in here to Bradford County. And right now in Bradford County, we have a total of 64 cases and still only 2 deaths.
That's correct.
And Alachua County has 760 cases. And Union County has 43 cases. Duval County is up to 3,202 cases. So as you can tell that, all the counties are starting to increase. But like I said, a lot of testing is going on, more so than what has been going on in the past. And they're going to continue that trend as we go forward. There's going to be more and more testing.
Yes.
That's where we are with testing.
Yeah. And speaking of testing, 2,271 people in Bradford County has been tested.
64 positive.
64 positive.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not a bad number.
No,
Right.
that's not a bad number.
That's
at
not
all.
a bad number.
And again, for clarification purposes, for those that are tracking that, that percentage has gone up. We were at 2.5%. We're now up to 2.8%. Some of this is resulting of the Memorial Day holiday. We've had one report that there was some employees associated with a daycare center. No new hospitalizations, extended hospitalizations,
Right.
no new deaths. The majority of those that were exposed, there was asymptomatic, meaning they're not sick. They just tested positive for it. They are self-quarantined. They're doing the right thing. So while the percentages has ticked up to 2.8%, we are still in the top 5 of counties in the state of Florida per capita testing. And our numbers are well below the state average. So we continue.
Right. Yeah.
You're going to see an uptick.
Yeah.
That it's going to happen. That's just the nature of the beast on this one.
Right.
The good news is that we're not getting the illness-related exposures. We're
Right.
getting just the asymptomatic presumptive positives.
The people that are in the actual bad range of age for COVID-19 are taking the precautions that they need to take. And they've limited the exposure in the nursing homes by doing what they've done in the nursing homes.
Right.
So what you're seeing is younger people catch this.
Yes, and I was just getting ready to say that. I'm glad you said that.
And what's going to happen with this that nobody's talking about is the country is going to start forming something called antibodies. The individual people start forming antibodies. You're right. But what happens when individual people start forming antibodies is you start getting something to happen that's called group immunity. Mm-hmm. So you get a segment of the population that's actually immune to the effects of COVID-19, which means you won't catch it again.
Yeah. And if we could just get them to get that group immunity for stupidity, we have it made.
Oh, yeah, no. Michael, they've been looking for group immunity for stupidity since the dawn of time, and you know that's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, and to give back the Bradford County schools system, they actually got notification earlier today that people that had attended the high school graduation, some of those individuals did test positive for the COVID-19. So, look out for those symptoms of high fevers, coughing, having a hard time breathing. And if you do experience those, call your doctor's office first, ask them what they need you to do, and then follow their guidelines. Because there's certain ways that they're doing things in doctor's offices now. I've been to the doctor, and they will make you stay out in your vehicle.
Right.
They will come get you. You go to the door, you get your temperature checked, make sure you're not running a fever.
Last week.
Yeah.
That was me last week, yes.
And they're trying to take the right protocols to keep everybody safe.
You basically try to keep people 6 foot away from each other. It's
Yeah,
basically what you're trying to do, and make sure that people wash their hands and don't do crazy things.
I know y'all didn't get a chance to go to the graduation, but Michael Heater was there. He was at the command post.
I watched it.
And they did a pretty good job seating people. Let me tell you what happened. Of course, once the graduation's done, what does everybody want to do?
Mingle.
Right there. Mike. And that's exactly, I want to hug you. I want to hug. And it became a hug fest. It's natural reaction. It's natural instinct to do that. You're happy for your child. Your child is happy to be graduating. So guess what happens? Family members are down. You don't even think about COVID at that time. You're thinking about giving that loved one the love and the praise they deserve.
Well, and maybe that's all right too.
Sure.
And here's why I'm saying this. Mm-hmm. Because if you take this seriously and you take your health seriously, and you're in the category of people that are at the biggest risk,
Right.
You didn't do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, you didn't do that. You have to be responsible for yourself.
Give you a prime example, Shelley. Shelley coordinated most of this graduation. Does a great job. Been doing it for 10 years. She wanted to hug those students so bad, but she can't.
She can't.
She's had breast cancer. She's went through radiation. She's went through chemo, and she just can't do that.
She can't put herself in danger.
So she had to stay back, and it's a shame, but that's what you got to do. And Byron's exactly right. Everybody that's in that high category needs to take the precautionary measures that y'all all were saying.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're younger and
well, I mean,
you know,
if you look at that
and don't have those symptoms, you know, yeah,
if you look at the different age categories and how it affects different age categories,
right.
Some of those mortality rates with COVID-19 are almost zero.
Oh, zero, right? Yeah.
I mean, there really are. If you look at certain age groups, like between, say, birth and 18,
Right.
they're almost zero.
Right.
You're going to have some numbers because people have health problems in that age group.
Sure.
Right.
If they catch it, they're going to have problems. But you're also talking about what happens. The main concern is when you go from an 18-year-old graduate to his 56-year-old parent.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, it gets transferred from one to the other. Now, the risk for that's a little bit more. But it's still not as great as it would be if that person would be in their 65, 70-year-old category.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, just be careful with what you do.
That's all.
That's all.
Well, and you know, speaking about COBA, there's been rumblings going on over in Alachua County that there's a possibility they may go back to phase one, and that's going to be shutting businesses back down to, 10 people into a restaurant, instead of the 50% that we're at right now. That'll be more people going back home and working from home instead of at work. So that's some rumors that are going around, and also
the state
rumors
of
the whole state of Florida stepping back and going to phase one as early as next week.
That is not a rumor. They're actually talking about
Correct.
it.
Yeah,
They're
yes.
actually talking
about
that. And I'm sorry, I know this disease is dangerous for people in certain age categories. You cannot shut the state down again. Economically, it will not survive.
Ladies and gentlemen, heed what Byron Bagwell is saying here, because I fully agree. We cannot do that.
You can't go back to doing that.
No.
This state will collapse. If you do it to the old United States, it will economically collapse.
Yeah. This state makes its money off of what? Mainly tourism.
Yes.
And if we don't have tourism here, David Holland, we are going to hit a major economic hurdle, as Byron Bagwell says. You shut Disney World down again. You shut all these amusement parks down, beaches down. I'm telling you right now, you thought that first one was bad. This second one will be double or triple worse than that one.
And I tell
Can't afford to do it.
In Walt Disney World, they have all expectations of reopening and letting people back into the theme parks next month.
Yes.
So, and now we're already discussing about dropping back to phase one. It will kill the employees there. You got to think about the employees that will not be making any wages. Now, Walt Disney World and that whole group down there, they've done a really good job for paying their employees as long as they possibly could. I know that helped them out a lot. But you know what? They're not going to have the money to do that again.
You can't pay people forever without making profit.
Right.
So
you can't do it. It's impossible. That's how our economy works. You cannot do it.
And I tell you, the movie theaters, it's gonna kill them. At the box office,
here we go with the restaurants again.
Yep.
The restaurants are what now? We're up to what, 50 to 75% capacity now? Now you're talking to dropping them back to 25, maybe even less than that? Byron, man, that is going to be a killer.
A killer to a lot of
people. And especially here in Bradford County, that is going to be an absolutely murderous row right now.
Well, and speaking of all this starting to happen, and they're talking about as early as next week, there's a possibility of going back to phase one. Shoot, we've already got a motel room. It's already reserved and ready for us to go.
Right.
Are we going to be able to see things on Monday or Tuesday? We don't know.
I got a question for you, Byron and Mitchell, and Dave Holland, business owner. Let me ask this. If they go back to phase one, let's say as early as Tuesday, let's just call it Tuesday next week. So the business is going to shut down? You think they'll rebel? What do you think?
There's going to be companies.
I think, what do you think is going to be the outcome of that? I think that some business is going to say, I ain't shutting it. That's enough.
That's enough. And they really, and I'm not.
I'd like to get Dave's take on that because he is a business owner, and I'd like to know. I'm not putting you on the spot, David. No pun intended.
Oh, I know a show like that.
Yeah, do you? I wonder if it's going on right now.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Australia.
All over the world.
There you go. Tell me what you think, Dave, and then I want Byron's input on that as well.
Well, they shut me down in the first round.
Yep.
I was down for about 6 weeks.
Yep.
And I came back. Everything is almost back to what feels like normal.
Right.
But I'm predicting they're going to shut us down again. And honestly, I'm not going to shut down.
See, and I think, Dave, you're in the majority, not the minority. I think you're going to see a lot of businesses say the same thing you just said. I want to hear it from you, being a business owner right here in Bradford.
I got 6 people that work in the shop.
Wow.
I'm not going to tell them that they can or can't, but I'm going to be there even if it's by myself.
Well, here's my question. Mm-hmm. You're talking to a small business owner right now who's saying he's going to do that, and I fully understand why you would do that because he doesn't want to lose his business. Can somebody please explain to me why Walmarts and Targets and places like that weren't shut down?
Because of food.
They're the provider of food.
Essential.
Essential, that, yes.
And that's fine too.
Well, I had a lot of customers not argue with me, but agree that, hey, keeping your hair cut is essential.
I think so.
Here's my point. Here's my point about the whole thing. If you own a business, is that business not essential to your life?
Sure it is.
Yeah.
Then how can that business not be essential?
Right.
What you're doing when you shut this down like that is you're stripping people of their livelihoods.
Yes, you are.
And people will put up with it, but they will only put up with it for so long, as you just heard. So my suggestion is people need to start taking more responsibility for themselves, and our government needs to cool it with these shutdowns, because you're going to destroy people's lives doing this.
Yes, you are.
Well, you start with the businesses, you start shutting them down. Then the employees, they can't get checks, they can't pay their bills, and when they can't pay their bills on their houses and their cars, the banks don't want the cars and the houses.
Nope.
Then the banks start failing, and it's just a domino effect running uphill. And then before you know, it's going to feel like the 1920s.
Yeah.
All over again.
No, it's not coming to that. I can tell you that now. The disease is not dangerous enough to warrant this. I've said this pretty close from the beginning when I started to understand what the numbers look like.
Right.
Who was affected by this the most? We need to protect the people who are affected by it the most.
Right.
We need to let other people be exposed to it. Now, that may sound bad to some people, but there is a thing called group immunity that we do to every virus and every disease that comes into this country. We did this with COVID-19's little brother or big brother or whatever you want to call SARS.
Right.
And we didn't declare it a pandemic, and the numbers are pretty similar.
I have those, Mr. Bagwell, if you'd like those.
Pretty similar. Mm-hmm. So this has to end because you're the government is actually forcing the destruction of people's lives on them and actually not functioning the way they're supposed to.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and get into something else, something more right here in our backyard that's kind of important.
Sorry.
As you probably watched the show this past weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
With David and the sheriff, I had mentioned that I have reached back out to Bobby Payne's office, try to get a hold of FDOT to see what was going on with our flashing beacon at 21B and State Road 100, and also the early warning signals that they're going to put on State Road 100 before 144th Street. As of right now, it looks like that is going to get done sometime in late July, early August, and I really hope this will continue helping us from having car accidents, because it was just a couple of days ago we had another crash right there at 144th and 100. And, and eventually we're going to have someone else get killed at the intersection if something's not done. Yeah, I know a lot of people want traffic signals put there,
Right.
but we have to take baby steps to get there. Unfortunately, that's just how government works. Hey, a little bit of something's better than nothing than what we have right there right now.
Yeah.
Once again, you talk about this type of thing, and all I can is going through my mind is personal responsibility.
Correct.
Yeah, a lot of the problem is, and I want listeners, if you listen, a lot of the problem there at 144th and 100 is not the intersection itself. We have people exiting out of the gas station and cutting across to the left to get on 144
Yeah.
across a turning lane. That is not good.
just-
If you're going to turn left, just take the time, go to Griffiths Loop
Yes.
Road, make you a little right-hand turn and go up there to the stop sign, and then make your left-hand turn. Now, I'm also going to talk to FDOT. I'm also going to try to get a hold of the owners of that restaurant and see if we can put some no turning left signs at that intersection where it comes up out of that gas station.
It will probably work just about as well as the one off of Call Street right there.
But you know what?
On 301?
If
Yeah.
the law's sitting there and they can see it happen,
Oh, yeah.
then they can write them a
Write 'em a
ticket
ticket,
because it shows that it's stated no left turn out of that exit area.
Yeah. Right.
So I tell you what, I don't think we've had a wreck there at 21B and 100 since we fixed the collection site entrance and exit.
Mike, do you remember one?
I
don't
can't recall
understand.
one.
I don't
there.
remember seeing any.
So if we have, it was minor. No, wait, I take that back. We had one nearby, but it was a deer, not related to the intersection. So
Okay.
yes, I knew there was something.
At 21B
At
or-
21B.
Okay.
21B. That was it. We took one during
Makes
the night.
sense.
But that was a deer that was not related. We have had no traffic related collisions associated with the layout of the roadways or the collection or anything like that since the work that you did has been concluded.
Well, I'll tell you what, after we get these areas fixed by FDOT, the blinking beacon that's going to be overhead on State Road 100 and 21B, and like I said, those early signals there at 144th and 100, we have had a lot of crashes at 227 and 100.
227 and 301.
Yeah, sorry,
301.
227.
Yeah.
301. Sorry.
That was not a good one earlier today, if that's what you're going to refer to, because I drove by that one with the van in
Yeah.
the woods.
I
Yes.
actually was requested to respond to that because of the hazmat component of that one. And
Diesel
it's-
coming from that
no,
box
it's
truck.
acetone leak.
Acetone.
From,
Oh, it was
We had that on
acetone.
the-
It was
Yes.
acetone on
Yeah,
That was
it
the
was
quick
covered-
and
it was
dirty.
covered in the quick and
Quick and
dirty.
dirty.
We had there was a request for a hazmat response, so the emergency management team from Bradford County went down there. The firefighters did a great job containing the spill. The issue that we face is, and it's a combination of things. It's the condition of the road. The road when it's been raining, we had a little rain. The semi not catching the light slid into the back of the van. The van was shoved through the intersection into the woods. So but this is an ongoing issue, and I know that you as well as DOT have this on the radar for trying to come up with some other things. And it's always, for all intent and purposes, 90% of the crashes are southbound. We do get a couple on the northbound side, but it's always the southbound for some reason that causes the issue, and so that's something that we continue to look at.
One of those things I'll probably do one day is right out there and sit right off the road in that one parking lot and just sit there and watch how things are going, how people are responding. Is it too fast when they come up to the light? Is the yellow light long enough?
I think it's the yellow. I think the yellow light's not long enough.
That's what I'm
That's
thinking.
I think they're going too
I'm agree.
fast too. I think it's
Yeah.
A combination of both.
Right. They can't slow down enough of time, and a caution light is way too fast. And
But-
and that's what I've been thinking as well.
By the way, look out for road log splitters. That's going to make no sense to anybody on this
Yeah.
panel. But my father was
Yep.
involved in an accident right there before that red light was there with the log splitter when somebody
Yeah.
come off the back of somebody's
That's it.
truck. So anything can happen.
Yeah.
Right.
You just have to be careful with all of it, and please use common sense. If you're driving 65, 70 miles per hour in that 55 mile per hour zone, and that's what that is because I drive it all the time. That 55 mile per hour zone, at that red light, you're not going to be able to stop at that yellow light.
Right. And I think a lot of time, most of those accidents, hate to say it, are with tractor trailers, majority of the time in that area. And it is a combination of going too fast. I don't think, Michael's probably right. I'm thinking the same thing. Caution light's not long enough. Plus, they have all that weight that they're carrying. And
Right.
you cannot stop that fast when you're carrying all that weight.
I want to just interrupt you a second. Yes, I'll address the shirt. I've had two people ask. I'll address the shirt here in just a second, and I'll also address why we wasn't at the congressional candidate's place, and I will do that just so this Mr. Mitchell Gunner is done here, and I'll elaborate on that. But yes, I will get to that.
Now, the other thing I want to talk about real quick, don't forget we're having a fundraiser for the food pantry. Right now, we're holding at $573 on PayPal, and the Dragon Slayer birthday fundraiser raised $320.
Nice.
So, like I said, you don't have to donate $20 or $50. Hey, you can go through there and scroll down. One time I donated $10. I'm going to donate some more money this Friday. If you got $5, donate $5. If you got $3, donate $3. I don't know if there's a minimum, is there?
No.
So there's no minimum.
Donate anything
So
you can.
donate $1. Every little bit helps, and just think one day you may have to depend on that
Absolutely.
food pantry to get you by, especially if we go back to phase one.
Right. Yes, exactly.
So
a lot of people's going to depend on
right,
it. Then.
or we have a hurricane that comes through here,
Right.
and we have total destruction, and
Right.
that's the only place where you can get food at. So let's help these people. I know BJ and
Mm-hmm.
and also Bob Milner. They do a lot of work down there, and there's probably a lot of other people that don't
The
get mentioned.
Hardys, lots of
And,
people. Yes.
Our hearts and thank yous go out to them every day for what they do.
Thank you for
Yeah.
doing what you do for the community.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Michael Heater, while we're on that subject, won't you come in and tell everybody what's going on? And then I'd like for Dave to play this little video that we have from the food pantry here. I think it's an awareness thing, and I think you will enjoy this video. If you haven't seen it, you will definitely enjoy it for sure. But I'm going to let Mr. Michael Heater update what Mr. Mitchell Gunner just said about the food pantry. Tell him what it's for. Tell him where we're at. Tell him what's going to be happening, Mike.
Absolutely. Appreciate the opportunity. Folks, again, for those of you that aren't up to speed on what we're doing, the Bradford County Food Pantry provides food and sustenance for two counties, Bradford and Union County, for those that are in need. There is no cost associated with this one. Every Friday they have the people that come out, the Bradford County Sheriff's Office explorers, help load the vehicles. They do over 200 people every week. At times, there's been over 400 to 500 people that have come in every week to receive the food. The food is donated both from financial contributions that they go out and purchase, as well as people who make donations. The on-the-spot team actually collected boxes of food. We took it there 2 weeks ago, so we put our money where our mouths is, so to speak. And for some of us, we put our hair where our mouths speak. So as a result of that, we are working on a fundraiser. You can actually go to the On the Spot with David Rodgers Facebook page. There is a link to our PayPal set up for the food pantry. You click on the PayPal link, you make a contribution to it. If we can get $5,000, your host, the show pony himself, will lose the mane, take it down to a nice little tight military cut. I'm taking it one step further. For $5,000, I have, because I was challenged by several people, I will take it down to bearskin and lose the historic mustache that I've had since high school. So and again, it's for a great cause. The facility is.
Speaking of your mustache, I've seen those in some 1970s films.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
No, I ain't going there.
Hey.
I was just like, God,
I wouldn't go there either.
Got to work on retirement somehow.
I know.
Anyway,
I was going to say Magnum PI stash, but he's
Yeah,
going in a different direction.
It's been
Well,
compared.
I thought he was a stunt double for Tom Selleck.
I've had several people say that it looks like
Yeah.
a Tom Selleck mustache, and I appreciate that. I take that as a compliment.
I was going the other way.
But yes, you were.
Why did I hear cheesy 80s
But on a
funk
serious
music in my head, or cheesy 70s funk music in my head?
Because I'll tell you here in a minute.
What do
Go ahead.
I
I'll tell you
I
after the
got
song.
you. I got you.
So on a side, so keeping in line with that one, what we're trying to do is we want to raise $5,000 to get Mr. Rodgers and myself a haircut. Now, if everyone gets really worked on it, which is what we're hoping for $10,000.
Nope. Been dropped.
7,000.
$7,500?
75. $7,500. Excuse me, $7,500. These two guys, the co-hosts, also will get themselves high and tight with a nice haircut as well. So again, it's all about trying to raise money. The building is nearly 80 years old.
It needs to be reworked.
It's serious, and this was an old military structure. So I mean, there's a lot of need to it. They need more space. They need upgraded electrical work. They need washing facilities, sanitation area that needs to be cleaned up. There's a lot of work that needs to be put into it. Bob Milner, Betty Warren, their entire team works really hard to make sure that they take care of the community. So we want to do something to take care of them. Your support will go a long way in making sure that we are able to keep the food pantry going, keeping it viable so that those in our community that need it have that resource available.
Hey, you forgot one. How about our esteemed producer there? He dropped it $5,000.
Oh, he did.
He said for 15. Wacko.
Wow, for $15,000, then our esteemed colleague, the doctor of producing,
Yeah.
Mr. Super Dave Holland, will lose the 25-inch ponytail he has had since the Civil War era, and will probably and that right there is a pretty significant hit because, like I said, it's at least 2 feet long.
You did know that Dave rode with General Custer. Yeah, he did.
I heard he babysat Custer when he was a child.
That's beside the point, though. Yeah, so he still rode with him.
Yeah, my ancestors.
Yeah.
Nice things to you there, Dave.
We joke about
General Custer.
we joke about Mitchell Gunter's great
Yes,
grandfather. Never really remembering the fact that Super Dave Holland was friends with Mitchell's great grandfather.
Well, he
You and Methuselah have something in common.
there was one
Probably the
day.
two oldest guys in the world.
There was one day I woke up. I had a little stuffy nose. My back was hurting, so I stayed in the tent.
I almost did.
No, you always got me.
Yeah. I got you, Dave. I got you, brother. Hey, anyway, thanks
I don't
for
think that's what he was
filling-
doing in the tent, by the way.
No, it wasn't. But anyway, thanks for filling in. Dave's fixing to play a video here real quick. It's a Betty Warren. Did a great job on the filming. Everything was really good with this thing. Betty Warren really spoke from the heart, didn't she, Dave?
Yes, sir.
Really spoke from the heart. I'd like for you guys to watch that. Please stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have a short, it's about 8 minutes or so, give or take. But you'll see what Betty Warren's talking about. And then we're going to come back and get into some great things as well. And I'm going to acknowledge everybody on the show. So we'll go here. Dave, why don't you go ahead and play that film right now for us, and we'll be right back with you.
Anybody ever saw our old food pantry? It was 900 square feet, and that included a carport that we enclosed. It was cut up into rooms, so there was no continuity. The First Baptist men came in, and they knocked out the walls and all to make us a large place that we could work from. You'd be amazed at the people that come in here because about 28% of the people that come in here are over 70. Another 28 to 30% have children. Another portion, and of course somebody that's older may be also disabled, but about 30% of our people are disabled. We have about 6% that are veterans. We have homeless that come through here. We have families, big families. We have people come in that they were working last week and didn't need us, and they got laid off, and they now need us. And when they get a job, they'll quit coming. We have people that come in with cancer. Different diseases. A woman was in here, she's on dialysis. She's going to have a kidney transplant. She didn't need us before. She needs us now. And because the people donate, we're here. 4 or 5 different groups. People that come in here Monday and Wednesday, and most of them are here on Friday. There are some that are 70 years old. There's one that's 80 years old. There's one that was in a really bad car wreck and has a brace on her leg, and she comes in and helps when she's able to. Sherry No is we call her food coordinator because she has warehouse experience. And in this time and place God sent her, she took over managing all that handout out there, and you can see how well it is organized. Gerald Moody is our director. He's been with here, we never can remember exactly, 9 or 10 years. I've been here 20 years. I'm the paper pusher and anything else anybody needs. We have probably got easy 25 people out there today. I've got my granddaughter and great-grandson, and we just holler help when we need it. We're making do with less than what we normally do, but we're getting it out a little bit slower than we normally do. We were advised by USDA that we could no longer intermingle with clients, so we had to figure out a way to do this. We normally serve 100 people a week. Now we're serving 200 a week by utilizing a drive-through system. We go through and take the names of the people and what county they're in, because we do serve Union and Bradford County. And then we distribute food. Some of the food has been provided to us by USDA, some all through Farm Share, and some through Feeding Northeast Florida. A lot of it has been provided by the local businesses and customers, and just people bring food and they donate money. And we use that money to buy food with. So right now we have a standing order for 200 each week of the items that we normally would give out. So then that's like green beans, peas, mixed vegetables, macaroni and cheese, that kind of stuff that you would want to make up your meal with. Davis Express, when they have anything left over on their truck, they call us and we go get it. We hand out chicken to people that come in here just about every week, every time they come in here. It's a blessing, because other food pantries may not have that blessing that we have. Our police and our sheriff's department has helped with this. They always, if we call them, they're here right off the bat for whatever we may need. This is truly a community. We could not do this without everybody doing what they're doing. You'd be amazed at the people that come in here, because about 28% of the people that come in here are over 70. Another 28 to 30% have children. Another portion, and of course somebody that's older may be also disabled, but about 30% of our people are disabled. We have about 6% that are veterans. We have homeless that come through here. We have families, big families. We have people come in that they were working last week and didn't need us, and they got laid off, and they now need us. And when they get a job, they'll quit coming. We have people that come in with cancer. Different diseases. A woman was in here, she's on dialysis. She's going to have a kidney transplant. She didn't need us before. She needs us now. And because the people donate, we're here. We average 25 to 30 people each Friday handing food out. You can see the sheriff's volunteers are out here today. We've had the junior class from this year, which will be the seniors of next year, 2021. We've had the football team. We've had various organizations. We've had various adults and stuff coming in. Anytime the kids are here, their coaches and teachers are here. We have a team that comes in on Monday and Wednesday to prepare for this handout. Plus, we're in here by 10 and getting ready on Friday to start distributing it at 1 o'clock. But we have cars parked here there at 10:30. They come in, get in line. One of the explorers takes their name and which county they're in and how many's in their family and why they qualify, because USDA says they must meet the requirements. They must be low income, food stamps, SSI, Medicaid, or TANF, which is assistance for low-income families with children. And then when we're ready, then they start directing cars up here one at a time. We may have as many as 3 stations out there to distribute food from. Today, I think we have 2. They're averaging getting 50 to 75 pounds of food each week. Donations are always needed. We take food. If you find something on sale, buy one, get one free, and you can't use a free one, bring it to us. Look for sales. Sometime you can get 3 cans of green beans for $1, which is a steal. But we shop things. We take the money that people donate and we go buy. That standing order that we have for 200 of everything we are giving out, that's being bought with the money that has been donated here. I have never seen the response we've had through this. It's just been amazing. It's unbelievable. I've been here almost 20 years, and I've never seen anything like it. Thank you to the businesses, the organizations, the individuals, the churches.
Hey, and I just want to remind y'all, you can find that PayPal account on the Spot Facebook page.
That's right.
And like I said, you don't have to donate a whole lot of money. As much as you can donate, it'll be fine. And if you want to remain anonymous, you can do that.
You can.
So that's all the local for me, Dave. Back over to you.
Well, I appreciate that, Mr. Mitchell Gunner and Mr. Michael Heater for giving us some great information about the Bradford County Food Pantry. Again, you're watching On the Spot with David Rodgers. My name is David Rodgers. I'm your host. To my left is Mr. Byron Bagwell.
Good evening.
To my right is Mr. Mitchell Gunner, Mr. Michael Heater, and Mr. Dave Holland with us tonight. I want to welcome in everybody. Yolanda Jones, Eddie Lewis,
Welcome in.
Mark Hootie, Dwight Allen. Good afternoon, brother. Jimmy Sparks. Hello. Yeah, Mr. Friday Night. I can't wait. Lisa Thomas and Moody said, good evening, guys. Dwight Allen, we will get into that about Mr. Brett Favre. Absolutely. We will get into that here in just a little bit. Roy Jackson, thank you for joining us. How about a name we haven't heard in a while here, Byron? Chris Davis.
Yeah.
Slice and Dice. He says, what's up, guys? Sorry I haven't been watching lately. Opened up a new restaurant and super busy, he says. Need to get y'all out here and do a show soon in the place. Let's get together soon, David, and plan something up, and we will.
And I have heard a lot of rumblings locally that it is if you like the food truck, you're going to love the restaurant.
I heard too. Me too. Sarge. Yes, sir. We're going to get into that. How about Bubba Wallace? No charges filed. The so-called noose was part of a garage door that had been there since at least October of 2019 for the FBI and News 4 Jax.
Thank you for stealing the thunder there, David. There went my question for you tonight.
Well, you can still ask it. Lisa Jones-Luke, Carlton Jones, Curtis Knights, Robert Griffiths. Thank you. Where did Dwight eat breakfast?
Dwight ate it Slice and Dice.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Hey, there you go.
Great breakfast.
So, Yolanda Jones, yes, graduation night. We talked a little bit about that, Mr. Mitchell Gunner. We was there. It was a great night. Fought the rain a little bit. We started about an hour and 15 minutes late, right, Mike? About 9:15, 9:20, something like that.
And they've done a great
Yes.
job live streaming it.
Yes, they did.
Very good job.
Yes.
They should all give themselves a pat on the back.
All right, question for you, gentlemen. Why have not, this is from Roy Jackson, why have not some of these cases come down in Bradford County? Have these people been in the hospital for 3 months?
Okay.
Here we go. Got an answer.
Fantastic question. Here's the deal. The state of Florida is where we get our results from. The state of Florida Health Department gets it to the county health department. Emergency manager gets our reports directly from the county and the state level. All the state tracks is hospitalizations, not discharges.
Right.
We do not have the ability currently, we being emergency management, do not have the ability currently to tell you that someone has been released. To be able to go in and say that patient X was transported on this date and was treated for this and then released, that borders on HIPAA violations. So the state we have to be cautious. We can tell you that someone went to the hospital. We cannot tell you that they were released. I will tell you that the last indication that our office received in emergency management was that I believe the last count was that there was maybe 1 or 2 people recently hospitalized. But the total hospitalizations is just that. It's people from day one that went to the hospital, probably got cut loose the next day, may have been hospitalized for a month or two. We don't know, because that borders on patient privacy concerns, and therefore we don't have those numbers. I can tell you, though, that the numbers have remained steady as far as, even though people have been tested positive, we're not getting the hospitalizations. We're certainly not getting the fatalities out of it. And that is because of several things. One, just because you're exposed to it and you test positive doesn't mean you're going to get sick. Secondly, Bradford County has actually done very well in being very proactive in keeping, with the exception of a few social gatherings and such as that, which we'll get into. People have actually done fairly well with this one. The cases that we've been dealing with have been directly related to particular locations, i.e. nursing homes, or in one case a daycare, or particular events or incidents that we can pinpoint to. As far as a general widespread population exposure, you're not seeing that in Bradford County.
That's great. That's a great report, Michael. Dwight Allen, I'm with you on this one. Still don't believe this is worse than the common flu. I agree with you, Dwight Allen. If you are like, in my case, Shelley, that's fought breast cancer. Sure. I mean, if she caught the common flu, now, gosh, I mean, it's gonna hurt her.
Of course, it's gonna hurt her. That's the
immune system.
So you're safe when you have problems. I mean, that.
Yes.
Common sense goes a long way for a lot of things.
Yes.
And it includes this virus. If you have issues, you need to protect yourself.
Yep.
All the time from this.
Yep. I mean, I've had pneumonia. Mike, have you had pneumonia? Yeah. Mike's had pneumonia. Mike's got a compromised immune system. You gentlemen, thank goodness, haven't had pneumonia, right?
Nope.
Y'all, okay, once.
I had
but you was younger, right? It was younger?
I was about 31, 32 years old when that happened.
So you've been all over it for a while. I know you got bad sinus problems like I do, but we can talk about that at another time. Dave, you've had pneumonia?
No.
Okay, so thank goodness that Dave hasn't had pneumonia. So Dave's a pretty healthy guy, and he's but you still, I mean, they talk about age range too. I'm not saying you're a young man, but I mean, they talk about that age range. You still want to protect yourself, and you still want to stay away
absolutely,
from it.
Absolutely.
See? So, and that's exactly right. Lisa Tomlinson says she agrees. Yolanda Jones said, David, that's exactly what happened. What I said about everybody hugging each other afterwards.
Well, I mean,
of course.
It's human nature.
It's human
nature. You
nature.
want to hug your family and your friends.
Right.
And the people you went to school with, because some of these people you're not going to see again.
Right.
Literally.
Paul McDavid, Woodrow Griffiths, thank you for joining us. Paul McDavid's got a thing here. Thank you for joining us, Paul. Paul usually joins us every once in a while. He said, my sister has worked for Disney, Dave, for 34 years and hasn't gotten a paycheck since April. Good grief, a mighty Friday.
You can't keep doing this. You have to rely on the public's ability to actually take care of themselves. You cannot keep on
You
doing
can't.
this.
No.
And then you.
I'm hoping that David, Byron, people like David that does have a small business that employs 6 people will voice his opinion. And I think he will. If I know Dave Holland, like I've known him for many years, Dave's going to voice his opinion about this. Dave, you cannot afford another shutdown. There's no way.
I do not want another shutdown.
The other thing I'm going to say, and this is going to sound probably crass, but at this point, I'm to the point where I understand what it's going to do to us as a country if we do this.
Right.
There is such thing as natural selection.
Yes, there is.
And you cannot let people that are not going to take care of themselves protect them permanently. You can't do it. It's impossible. Now, you don't want anybody that's trying to take care of themselves get sick from people who are not taking care of themselves.
Right.
But at the same time, you cannot put people in a bubble.
Right.
You can't do it. It doesn't function. Human beings are social animals. Sooner or later, they're going to get tired of it.
That's what Fauci wants to do to football.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Fauci.
Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah, we'll get
Fauci.
to him.
Fauci is look. How many times has Fauci said one thing and then
says yes as another?
I don't know why he's still there.
Hate to tell you this, Dave, but professional football, they're even talking about only doing 8 or 10 games.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. I believe that.
I haven't listened to a single word about.
And that's okay because I want to talk. Byron, me and Byron and you, we're going to all have a little discussion about that here in just a second. I'm going to let you know my feelings on that too.
I'll
The
let
White
the shirt
Allen
speak.
Okay, there you go. Your shirt says it all right there. Dwight Allen says, doesn't bother me if Hollywood dies. Carlton Jones, thank God I got my hair cut last week. He must have come seen you. Deanna Crawford says, essential needs, food. That's what she was saying
She
about
was
your Walmart.
responding to me about
To you
Walmart.
about your Walmart. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of haircuts,
Yeah.
there's a group of people that got their haircut, and the average haircut runs about 4 to 6 weeks before you need another one.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of people come in that 4 weeks before we shut down got their haircut. Was about time to getting another haircut at the time we shut down, and then we're closed for 2 months. So there's a lot of people that were desperate.
You're right.
I don't want another shutdown, but I do take this serious.
Glad you said that.
We do take temperatures. We do social distance and separation
You're
of
doing
the
the right things,
hairstyling
David.
chairs.
You're being
We're
a
wiping down
responsible
everything.
citizen.
The front doors, the bathroom doorknobs, our seats.
They can't keep doing this to people.
David, you are doing what every business in America should be doing. You are what I put and classify as the responsible businessman and business owner. You are doing the right things, not only to protect you and your workers, but the people that come in
Exactly.
there as well. So,
Well, I was lucky throughout the whole time, being an essential employee.
me too.
I don't know
Byron,
how I would really face that.
Did I get a paycheck since
and
April?
I get a paycheck. I just
I
don't
mean,
know how-
It's not going to make one bit of difference to me and Mitch.
I would lose
at all.
everything.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, you
if
got
you
your
didn't-
mortgage,
I mean-
your kids you got to feed,
Because I'm going to still keep on
That's the most
taking
important thing.
care of
your
my
car payment.
patient.
The heck with the
Right.
car. It's about feeding the kids.
Amen, brother. I like that. Yeah, I'm glad you said that.
about
I'm
feeding
glad
the
you-
family.
Yes, it is. And you're exactly right.
And I know you love your car,
Yes.
but you love your kids more.
But he loves that Zane. I'm gonna tell you right now. You want to see a father that loves his son?
Yeah, man.
That one right.
Everything is Zane, man, and your other son too.
Yeah.
He's a lucky young man too.
Yeah,
Some of those
he's-
pictures you shared.
Yeah, share are awesome. So that's when those with money sweep in and buy up the houses. I guess when you were talking about people losing their homes and things like that. Oh yeah, you'll have that. Chris Brantley, I work with. Hello, Chris. I hope you're still on. Dwight Allen, communism running wild. You got that right, brother.
Hey,
Hey.
whoa, stop.
Okay.
I know this is not my segment yet.
Yeah, not yet, but it's
I
getting close.
wanted to say one thing about that.
Okay.
That's a great comment.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're watching the show and you're of a different political opinion than the majority of us, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go to a bookstore or Amazon or somewhere and buy a copy of Marx's Communist Manifesto. And I want you to read that book. In particular, this section where he talks about fomenting communist revolution. And you take a look at what's going on in this country today, and you cannot tell me that there are not similarities. I'm going to leave it at similarities.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
All right.
Just wanted to.
Okay.
Southern Jim's photo booth is on with us. Say hello, guys.
Hello.
Yeah, we know her, don't we?
Yeah,
Who is that?
That's Megan.
That's Megan. You got that
Hey,
right.
Megan.
Lisa Thomas said the van looked bad and they got hit pretty hard.
Jeff joined.
Stephanie Smith is joining us. Hello, Steph. Roger Cruz is joining us. Lorenzo Jones, my boss man at work, is joining us.
Really?
Yes, sir, Lorenzo. Say hello, Lorenzo there.
How'd it go, Lorenzo?
There you go, Archie Waters.
Is Lorenzo from Stark?
Lorenzo, no, he's from Lake City originally. Well, actually, he's from What's just on the other side? O'Brien, I think, or somewhere over there. Yeah, in there.
We
Yeah.
went to school with a guy named
Yeah.
Lorenzo.
He went to school in Branford.
Oh, okay.
Branford.
Okay.
Yeah. Great football player over there. Archie Waters says hello, and hello, David. Kenna Wilkerson. So, Dave, was the other yellow hair? I'm
Talking about the other L here, Indian. He's talking about Custer as well.
Custer, yeah.
Talking about Custer.
Custer. Marie, hey, how you doing? Great job, and thank you for what we do. No, thank you for joining us. Y'all are the guys that make this show. We're just the what? The rudder that steers this big old vessel. We enjoy doing this show each and every week. We have a great show each and every week. And I'll tell you what, hey, anything that you want to talk about, Michael, tell them how to get on there if they want to send something, a comment or whatever. Tell them where they can find us.
Hey, you know what? You can find us on Facebook, On the Spot with David Rodgers. Our page is open to everybody, and we encourage you to like and share and follow us on Facebook. Also encourage you to send us your comments, questions, concerns, or anything that you've got. You can email us at onthespot32091@gmail.com. Again, yes, I'm waiting for you to get your pen. No, not that one. Get the other one. That one doesn't write. Yeah, that pen works. No. Use the other piece of paper because you'll lose that one.
And yes, he has the superpower to see into your homes.
Or get your iPad.
That's the one right there. Good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
On the spot 32091@gmail.com.
Got struck by that lightning
All
the
right.
other night.
Mr. Dave Holland, you're doing a watch party, by the way, and you can do one as well. All you got to do is click On the Spot, hit all your friends, and go to a watch party, and we can have the whole world watching this show, which we've had at one time or another.
Oh, yeah.
Dave, who you got?
I'd like to say thank you to Jeff Joyner.
Jeff Joyner, hello there.
Yeah, Clay Manning.
Clay Manning, hello.
Yeah, Terry Vaughn.
Terry Vaughn, hello. And it is, yes, either does happen.
Becky Perry. Timmy
You put
Nugent.
out fires over there.
Easy.
William Stone.
William Stone, hello.
Yes.
Good job, David, and welcome in to On the Spot with David Rodgers. We hope you're enjoying the show. I was talking about fires, Heater.
Find them hot, leave them wet. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I knew you was going there. Good for you.
I'm glad that
I'm glad that
yeah. Oh my goodness.
The lady is Precious Roy Jackson. I'm assuming he's talking about Shelley Rogers.
No,
Yes.
he's talking.
No,
I think he was talking. Well, she's precious, but and
Which
I think
one?
he was talking about Miss Warren.
Ms. Warren, yes. Oh, yeah, definitely. Kenna Wilkerson, Ohio has 45,534 cases and 2,000 deaths. Jack is older and I have a compromised immune system. Well, Kenna, I know you. We know you very well. You're part of the American Party in our group, and I can guarantee you right now, you're doing everything that you can to protect you and your husband wherever you go, whatever you do. I'm assuming you're wearing masks, washing your hands, sanitizing, doing the whole 9 yards, and that's why you're right now watching this show.
I want to read a comment.
Sure, go ahead.
This is from your sister.
Okay.
Me and your nephews are saying hello. Cameron and Caleb say, "Hey, Uncle David."
Oh, well, hello.
hello.
Yeah. North Carolina.
Yeah.
Right there by Appalachian State, around the Boone area there.
It's that
My
picture
sister.
of that pretty lady you showed me the other day.
That's our other sister, Sharon, but this one is pretty too. Leanne, I'll show you
Yeah.
a picture. Very beautiful lady. Got some beautiful. So
Darn.
thank you for joining in. Absolutely. Thank you for that because
You're
I was
welcome.
trying to get to that.
I just felt like
We needed to. Yeah, we needed that. We needed, yeah, especially after the heater comment. The way people are acting, another shutdown is coming. Well, we talked about that, Archie. I'm assuming that people are going to stand up for that. We'll see how far that goes. Kenna Wilkerson, Jack and I have to go on self-quarantine Thursday because Jack had to have cardiac clean-out. And I'm having a total knee in 2 weeks. So this is so hard on them. So, Kenna, our prayers and thoughts go out with you. If there's anything that you need, you holler at us. You're in the American Party group. We all look at that. We're all on that. So if you need anything, holler at us. We'll, hopefully we can help in some way.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely keep you in our prayers.
Yeah, and I got Tom Peacock on
Do you
too.
got Tom Peacock?
Me and him served together in the Navy.
Really?
Thank you
Yeah.
for your
Thank
service.
you for your
Tom.
service, Tom. Thank you for your service, Dave. Appreciate you. I have diabetes, Archie says. High blood pressure, and I'm fat, so I'm staying safe.
Well,
Do you want to answer that, Byron?
No.
Okay, how do you think you did? Dave, you want to answer?
well, No.
No, okay, no. Carlton Jones says, always have top-notch service at Harry Business. How about that, Dave?
Oh,
Oh, that's Steal Your Thunder.
yeah. You know what they say, don't you?
What'd they say?
It's a hairy business.
Ba-dum-bum-bum. That's about as bad as Heater does something. Anyway,
off the rails.
Kenna Wilkerson, Dave, you are doing the right thing. Keep up the great work. We will be keeping you and others in prayer. God won't let this craziness keep us from not going.
Yeah.
Yes, Leanne, hello. And your nephews are watching. Yeah, my nephews, absolutely. Hello, guys. Cameron and Caleb and Leanne. Say hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
There. And one of my favorite ladies in the whole wide world. She don't say because you want a cake. Miss Shirley Bagwell is on.
Or bean salad, or venison, or something. I don't think he cares.
I don't, brother.
That venison loaf is
Is off the chain. I'm gonna tell you right now. Did you think Miss Bagwell would do that again?
yeah, about Thanksgiving.
You're not answering, are you?
About Thanksgiving.
Look at you. You're not answering. You're just laughing your tail off.
I'm eating venison burgers right now.
Are you really? Did you really have to say that here?
Hey, we got Barry Carlton that joined in. How you doing, Barry?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, the mood just changed.
Yeah,
I got
just
myself
bad.
in trouble.
Not
Yeah.
only that, a different type of bean salad and some potato salad too.
Oh.
It's really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Miss Shirley, what happened here? I love
Now
it.
you're going to get me in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. Kenneth says, most definitely we are worried. Jack is very worried about this. Y'all are doing the right thing to protect yourselves. The hospital's going to do the right thing. You're going to make sure everything's okay.
Yeah.
We're going to pray. And, yes, absolutely. Everything's going to be okay. Leanne says, I'm blonde, not brunette. You have showed them your other two sisters. Well, I showed them the one.
I knew you were going to get in trouble.
I was going to get in trouble with that one, wasn't I? But Leanne is blonde, but my father was not your color hair.
Yeah.
So you can see where the blondness came in there, even though, I got the Spanish
Well, I
look.
tell you what, when I was young,
Uh-huh.
I was so blonde, my hair was almost white.
Oh, towhead.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for their.
But you know
Yeah,
what?
I'm moving on, Mitchell.
Hey,
You're
hey.
trying to bait me in here.
It has turned them white once again.
Yeah, you're trying to bait me, aren't you, Mitchell?
I'm sorry, that's not racist. is it?
No, it's not.
comment
No,
is
it's
Towhead.
not. No.
That comment is too good.
Oh, I know. The Leanne comment? Oh, God, yeah. Do you want to read that way? Hang on. Let me read the way it is. Kenneth first. She said, thank you for everybody that served. We want to thank everybody here that served. Whoever's watching and whoever's not watching, we want to thank everybody for their service. Hey, we love this country. And right now, if they was to call me back, Mitchell, you know what I'd say? Yes, sir. Where do I sign? I don't know what I'd be doing, but I'd sign somewhere.
Hey, it may be coming real soon.
It may be. Yeah. So that's exactly right. All right. In about 5 months, overdue for a haircut, Dwight Allen says.
Oh.
What is that? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, he is overdue.
I thought you said you were going to let it grow out some, brother.
Yeah. Okay, Byron, go ahead now. So, Jim and Nettie, I'm going to have to find some old pictures. Go ahead, Byron.
David looks like he did in the 70s. Looks like it's getting fluffy, too.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Oh,
the
my
only
God.
one with fluffy hair.
No.
I'll take this hat off and I'll show you fluffy because my hair goes poof.
Oh, God. She is something, man. She is just throwing me under the bus and just running and slap over with it, isn't she? I love her, though.
my goodness.
I was thinking the same thing, Miss Leanna. How about that? Kenneth Wilker's thinking the same thing. Good grief. Me too, Towhead. Hey, good call. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, thank you. Towhead. Here we go. This show is getting off the
I
rails.
will not ask this question until after the show, but I
All right.
really want to know where that name came from.
All right, I will tell you. Hey, I'm getting closer to my settlement. Just waiting for the attorney to go sign the papers. Archie said.
Good.
He was telling us
Good.
should be a nice settlement for Archie Waters. It'll set him
Oh,
up.
you might get a haircut.
Yeah, I may, because Archie Waters probably is going to donate the mess out of that money if he gets it anytime
Wow.
soon. That man looks like the flying nun under the cap. What? That's you! Yeah. The Hat Man. That's Byron,
That's
by
good.
the way. You know Byron. Looks like the flying nun under cap. Leanne, you're just full of it tonight, aren't you?
Where did you see that one? I didn't.
Right here.
I most certainly would have been laughing about
Right
it.
here we go.
Oh, it's after the comment. Okay,
Under the
it's
cap
got-
like a left. Then she says wings.
That's exactly right.
Good grief. Oh, my goodness. Welcome in on the spot with David Rodgers. Oh, here we go.
Answer your question.
Answer your question, Leanne.
It's uncontrollable right now because I haven't had a haircut since this all started.
Oh, golly. Yeah, you had to do something. You're right. Get those kids cracking up. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on the spot. Look, we were supposed to be in Gainesville tonight before we get over to Mr. Bagwell and some great issues that's going on with us nationally and worldwide. We were supposed to interview a candidate for congressional seat that Mr. Ted Yoho is going to leave vacant. Her name was Miss Kat Kamek. Unfortunately, we got a phone call later this afternoon, and she was under the weather, David and Michael, and wasn't going to be able to do that. She was playing it safe for all parties, and we will be rescheduling. As a matter of fact, do you have a rescheduled date, Mike?
We don't have a rescheduled date, but we are communicating. We'll have that. We'll get that out as soon as we can.
Okay,
That's good
so
because I definitely want to be at that one, and I couldn't attend.
Absolutely. So she's like I said, running for a congressional seat that Mr. Ted Yoho is going to leave vacant. We were supposed to be there, but we gathered up real quick, come over here, and did the show. So anyway, going over to you, Mr. Bagwell, with the national news and some things that we all wanted to talk about. And now with the national report, here's the freedom fighter himself, Mr. Byron Bagwell, tonight brought to you by Saban & Schuster Law Firm in Jacksonville, home of Leonard Skinner and other Southern rock groups that are awesome. Visit them online at www.piplaw.com. Welcome in, Mr. Byron Bagwell. How was your day today?
My day today was kind of all right.
Was it good?
It was all right.
Where was you at? You was in Jacksonville.
Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Okay. How was it over there?
It was Jacksonville and Orange Park.
It was.
In other words, crazy.
In other words, crazy.
Well, ever since it was great during the lockdown, which was terrible for the businesses because you could actually maneuver around those two places very, very easily and get places very quickly. Now you can't. So, but that's about.
Did you go over this one?
No, I did not.
Not today?
No.
You don't like that bridge, do you?
I don't like that bridge.
Me neither.
At all.
Try riding a motorcycle up
No,
that bridge.
no.
Danes Point Bridge?
I'm not
I was scared.
I'm not riding a motorcycle in Jacksonville, period.
I
Well,
like
that's
that bridge.
Do you really?
Yes, I do.
I love to fly, and I love
I'll tell you
water, but you put me on
something.
a
Years
bridge,
ago, when I was young and dumb, we would ride out there and
I was
watch
going to add something
people.
else to that.
Do not do this, but we would ride out there and watch people drag race across that bridge.
sure.
Oh, my God. Across the Danes Point?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness. I imagine, though. So, anyway,
Going about 180 miles per hour coming down the back
side of that thing.
That's why they did that.
Anyway, Byron, welcome in. What do you got for us tonight, brother? What do you have for us
I
tonight?
sort of wanted to combine both of our segments.
Okay, we can
Sorry.
do that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. We talked a little bit about a couple things.
And this,
Ask me any
I'm
question.
not. This is not meant to be offensive, but
Right.
I really want to know from not only you but from our audience.
Yeah.
Have you ever mistaken a rope pull on a garage door for a noose?
Byron Bagwell, let me answer that question for you. I have not.
Okay. We now have an FBI investigation that is completely and utterly over with. There was no hate crime found, and we have a NASCAR driver who has turned into Juicy Smollett, or
Who?
whatever his name is. I'm sorry, I tried to put that one out of my mind. Because, look, Bubba Wallace had a quote-unquote noose in his garage that was left there, and he was all offended, and BLM and all of this. And it was a garage, a rope that goes on a garage door.
And someone put a hoop in there for them to be able to grab it a whole lot easier
Correct.
with their hand and pull down the
Pull it down.
garage door.
Pull down a garage door.
Yes.
I knew something stunk about this anyway, because Mr. Mitchell Gunner brought this up, and it made me start thinking when this first come out. There are millions of dollars worth of equipment in each one of those garages. How did some person get inside of that garage and put a noose inside of it?
Security is very tight.
Yes.
And there is cameras
Everywhere.
everywhere.
The answer to that is the only people that could have possibly done that is himself or part of his crew.
Let me ask something. Y'all both been in NASCAR races. Some of our audience has been
Well,
in NASCAR
I've never
races.
been in NASCAR.
Okay, you never been
I've
in
been-
NASCAR.
I've-
Okay,
I've been to
Byron. So more for you, but Mitchell, sort of the same thing as NHRA a little bit. Okay, and our fans that are watching. There's certain stages that you can get into to
Sure.
so you go into the infield, you
Right.
got the grandstand, you got to have credentials for each one of those.
Right.
For
To get
each
in
step.
to
To
get
get in
yeah.
each step. So now when I went, that was back in early 2000, when I went to the last one, early 2000. And I know security has beefed up since then.
Oh, definitely.
And at that point, it was tight. So what Byron Bagwell is saying is absolutely correct. There is no way on God's green earth that somebody could have gotten in there and did that without, like you said, Byron, a camera picking them up, some security, form of security walking around there because that's what they do. I've seen them do it. They're walking around there or riding around on their. It is tight. It is very tight.
Well, you're not getting in somebody's garage.
No, you're
It has
not.
cameras everywhere. They'll have video.
Yes.
Like he was saying, they'll have video footage of you going in there and doing that.
Right.
The bottom line to it is that this was a publicity stunt.
Yes.
I believe it was as well.
And I was giggling about this before because I was giggling at the stupidity of it. Because they were going to get caught sooner or later. They had the FBI come in and investigate. May not hear the end of that one either. There may be some blowback charges coming from
Maybe.
this. And I hope there is. Because this is nothing but a bunch of nonsense.
Well, we'll put it out there. Now, Bubba Wallace was not the one who complained about it. It was actually one of the crew guys.
I agree.
That
Yes, he did.
took this
And started getting the
and
ball rolling.
started getting the ball rolling. It was not actually Bubba Wallace himself.
Right.
He was made aware of it the next day
Right.
that supposedly being in there, but that's all it was a rope tied with the tied around so you could grab
a hold of it
and
and
pull it down.
lower the garage door down.
And whoever had that pit area before and used it, they probably did that to make it easier to pull the garage door down. Like you said, it's been there since October 2019.
19. Okay, look, we have far too many problems right now in this country for someone to look at something that they have, and you can say what you want. These people have been around pits, and these people have been around garages all of their lives, and they have seen stuff like that in a bunch of different ones because that's how people do that with those doors.
Right.
They've seen that before. This is made up nonsense to stir up this country even more about what's going on. And we do not need it. And whoever's done that, they need to make an example out of. Because I, for one, am getting tired of hearing two things. I am tired of hearing racism, and I am absolutely sick to death of hearing systemic racism. And the fact that white privilege exists in this country. That at one point may have actually existed. White privilege doesn't exist anymore. There is no such thing as white privilege. And I'm sorry if you think I'm wrong and I'm racist for saying that. But you tell me, if you think there is white privilege, why in the world do we do things like quotas on scholarships to college and quotas in jobs? We are giving preferential treatment to black people because of the color of their skin. to go to college. It's a disservice to them to give them jobs. It's a disservice to them because when people get in there and they can't get the grades they need to, or they can't perform the jobs that they need to, it breaks their heart, and we start getting this racist call, is what we start getting. Right. I watched a video by a very intelligent professor who happens to be black that was talking about this subject today. And he basically said he doesn't believe in racism, and he doesn't believe in systemic racism at all. Know why he doesn't believe in it? Because he's never seen it. Because he looks at the world through the eyes of a person that thinks that he is going to make out of himself whatever he needs to make out of himself.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what I think because my skin color is white. It matters to him because he takes personal responsibility for himself. That's exactly what he said. And he said we need to start doing that as a nation. Not just black people, not just white people, Hispanic people, Asian people, and everybody else. There was another very intelligent black man that I have watched in countless movies and absolutely adore, who said the reason racism still exists today is because we still keep on talking about it. You know who that was? That was Morgan Freeman. Mm-hmm. Why are we having this conversation? I could care less what somebody's skin color is.
Me too.
I don't want to oppress anybody. I want to live my life, and I want to make the best out of my life that I can with the abilities that I've been given. And that's my right. But when you start labeling people with that because of their political opinions or who they vote for, which is happening, by the way, now. Everybody that votes for Trump is a racist. I've seen that a whole bunch. What you do is you start oppressing them. Nietzsche had a very good quote that says, be careful when you hunt monsters that you don't become a monster yourself. When you gaze long into the abyss gazes back into you. Mm-hmm. It's very applicable to this. Because I have black friends that I talk to all the time. I have a very good friend who I do a show with that's Hispanic, and I don't care whether he's Hispanic or Mexican or Guatemalan or whatever it is.
Honduran.
I don't care.
Panamanian. It doesn't matter.
You're a great human.
It doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't matter to
American.
me
He's American.
because he's an American. That's right. He stands up for the values that I believe in. Therefore, we're friends.
United we stand.
It's as simple as that.
Divided we fall.
Or, look, what's going on today has got to stop. Because what's going to happen is there is going to be a certain population that is going to come out of the woodwork that has had enough.
They're trying to trip
Speaking
us.
of which, you talk about that, Byron. I actually called Senator Marco Rubio's office today, and I also called
Good.
Yoho's office today.
Good.
And I left messages for both of them that right now, if we don't do something with what's going on in this country and get it solved, we are sitting on a powder keg
Oh, yeah.
that is fixing to
Ignite.
explode.
It's going to blow up. It is going to blow up, and it is going to end very violently, and it's not going to end the way some people think it's going to end.
We don't want to go that route.
So, look into somebody's character.
Thank you.
And how they treat other people before you go calling them a racist because of their political beliefs.
I got called a racist on Facebook, on Channel 20, Gainesville's Facebook page, because I made the comment that I don't think you should kneel for the flag or the national anthem because of those who put their lives on the line and lost their lives to protect this country. And guess
Right.
what? Those people who failed for this country were all different
Racist.
races.
And I'm going to say something else about this, too.
So they were all Americans.
They were all Americans. I'm going to say this, too. As a person who is a Christian, not an exactly devout Christian, because I don't attend church all the time, but I am a Christian, I find it very offensive that you kneel for anything besides Christ.
Right.
Now, that's your personal preference to go do. But I can tell you right now, somebody comes to me and tells me I need to kneel and repent my sins for being white, my response to you is going to be, 5 of you are probably going to end up hurting me. But I'm not kneeling to you. I'm not kneeling to anybody other than Christ. So you need to take that elsewhere because somebody's getting hurt too. That is a promise.
I got you, and that's well said. You know, it's,
David, I don't. We have a political ideology in this country that has gone off the rails, that a certain segment of our governmental leaders have started about 120 years ago, starting with Wilson. They called it progressivism back at that point in time, but really what it is, it's a type of socialism,
right,
that leans towards communism. And it's continued on and on and on and on and on. And now all of a sudden, we have a group of people who believe that they are an underclass in this country, and they're using them for basically to change the way this government works, which is revolution. It's right out of Marx. And I am not standing for that. Patriots are not standing for that. What you would call patriots, you know, the people that you call racist, even though there's a bunch of black people and Hispanic people in there, those groups too. Yeah, those people. The other people that are not going to stand for that are veterans. They'll sit here and let you destroy our form of government and our country. They're not going to let you erase our history either.
Yeah, because when they erase our history, you know who they're acting like? ISIS. Because that is exactly what ISIS has done to the Middle East. And they are acting the same way, these groups today. And what they're doing is they're pushing us. They're pushing us to see how far they can poke the bear. They're seeing how far they can poke the bear before the bear bites back.
You can only poke a sleeping bear so many times before he bites you.
Let's take a little trip back in history a minute, Byron.
Sure.
Just recent history.
Sure.
Where did all this stem from? What incident did this stem from?
Hands up, don't shoot.
No.
Yeah.
It happened when President Donald Trump took office, and that's when it started getting really crazy.
Okay,
well,
yeah.
It stemmed from and why I'm drawing a blank on the guy's name's hands up, don't shoot, which was a total lie, a complete and total lie. There were black and white witnesses both that said that man went after that police officer.
Sure.
I should never use that word. That police officer's gun. And he got shot for his efforts.
Right.
Guess what movement come out of that? Black Lives Matter. It's built on a lie. And I'm going to tell you something else. Once again, you can call me a racist if you want to. All lives matter.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Every single person in this country matters. I'm going to include criminals in that too. Even though they're criminals and they deserve to be incarcerated, some of them worse than that, you shouldn't be exposed to things like people killing you because you passed a counterfeit $20 bill. You shouldn't put yourself there in that position in the first place by committing a crime, but at the same time, you shouldn't be killed for that.
Right.
But this is being pushed so far that it is turning into things like what we see in Seattle, where they're actually taking over part of our government, David.
Which is what I wanted to talk about, because all this stemmed from that one. Okay, yes, there was other incidents, but we kept that under control. All of a sudden, we get the George Floyd incident, right?
Right.
Okay, police brutality, everybody's... All right, charges brought up on the guys, right? Charges brought up on the officers, right? They'll be facing charges, right? What has Byron said many times? It's been done, right? Over. Yeah. What happens? This now stems to what we're seeing today, all this rioting, all this anarchy, all this that's going on in
It's
these different
using that cause.
It's using that cause, but to do this. However, I'm going to go back a step. Byron, tell me if you agree with me here. I'm going to go back a step. We should have never let it get to this point.
No.
We should have never let it got to this point because you know what? The mayors and the commissioners and the governors of these states let this happen. They have let it happen. They could have stopped this. And guess what? Now it's gotten out of control, and now they're going to have people come in besides themselves to bring restoration back, if order back.
They could, most of them, if they brought the National Guard in,
that's correct.
They were cowered away.
They could stop this.
That's correct.
And see, that's the thing. The governors can do that, and
Yes.
it's their responsibility
Ability to
to do that for the citizens that are not participating in any of this.
But you want to
And I
know
want to
what?
go back 1 second before we go any further with this conversation, and I want to say one thing.
Right.
There were people peacefully protesting.
Yes,
this.
there was.
They have a right to peacefully protest this.
Right.
I don't think you were wrong about this,
No.
but I'm going to say this. Even if I think you're wrong, you have the right to peacefully protest something. That is your right.
Yes.
Yeah, the right to assemble.
But when
Peaceful.
when it turns into this, what happens is our government has a responsibility to put an end to
That is correct.
Now, what people are going to say is these groups infiltrated our peaceful protest. Why can't we peacefully protest? I have a situation solver for that. What you do is you designate a place in that town or in that wherever you big city, wherever you are. They give you 2 city blocks, probably in a great big area that you can do that. And then you have your protests and you speak your minds. The rest of that town, if you were caught looting, burning, stealing, or even protesting, you need to go to jail.
Yep. You have now performed a criminal act.
Number one, you need to go to jail because you're protesting without a permit, which
Right.
I think is absurd anyway.
Well, let's not
Because
even
it's a
call it
violation.
protesting, Byron, because they're not even doing it.
Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
Right.
if you have a group peacefully protesting
yes,
outside
yes.
that they're breaking
Absolutely.
the law and need to be stopped.
Right. Right.
I don't agree with permits for peacefully protesting because that's nonsense.
Right.
Our Constitution guarantees us the right
Like to do that.
But any of those other groups that are caught doing that, I hope they arrest you and put you in jail for a very, very long time. Really, that's not what I hope they do to you because I know what you are and what you're trying to do.
Well,
And
there's
I
a
can tell you, it's going to get to the point in this country where there are people like me that understand what's going on. We're going to have our fill if our government does not stop this, and we are going to stop it ourselves. And like Mitchell said, that's not going to be pretty, and he doesn't want it. I don't want it either.
No, we're
And
not
that's why I called Marco Rubio's office and Ted Yoho's office because I know each day we're moving closer and closer and
Yeah.
closer because I hear more and more rumbles of more and more people getting upset. You know, and in the whole thing of tearing down the monuments, I mean, you're not just tearing down Confederate monuments, but you're tearing down monuments that deal with people who served World War I, World War II,
Korean,
on the
Vietnam.
even on the Union side during the
Yeah,
Civil
they
War.
just-
Ulysses S. Grant.
They destroyed a monument to Holocaust victims.
Yes.
Right.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They destroyed a monument to Holocaust victims.
There's a certain element out there that is motivated in pushing
Revolution.
the negative narrative for a peaceful protest.
Yes.
And-
And that's exactly right. You know, that is, I'm going to tell you the main one.
The one I've been hearing about.
Antifa, right?
It's
Mr. George Soros, if you don't know who that is, make sure you look him up.
It's Black Lives Matters too. Look, I don't know what happened with that. I know it was founded on a false narrative because the guy that it started over actually tried to kill the cop. The cop killed him first. I don't know if it got hijacked at some point, but you have a bunch of communist Marxists in your groups that have admitted that their goal is to change our government into what they want. There's videos of them saying it. I'm not going to allow that to happen.
I'll give you a prime example. They're talking about getting rid of statues of Christ. Now, what does that sound like?
Yes.
ISIS.
You know who else it sounds like? It sounds like the quote, religion is the opiate of the masses.
Right.
Do you know where that come from?
I know who said
Share
that.
with us.
Marx.
Mhm.
Karl Marx.
Well, that particular situation there, Christ is depicted as a white man. And 2,000 years ago, he's from the Middle East.
Well, right now,
How many white people were from the Middle
You
East?
got to remember how hot and everything else it was there. Jesus probably had olive skin.
well, I'll tell you what,
Probably
right
from
now,
the sun and
if
the
he
way
come
he
from-
walked. He walked
if he comes
everywhere.
down from heaven, he can
Doesn't
be
matter.
any color that he
It
chooses.
does- and I was just
He's
going to
white,
say,
does
he's
it
black,
matter?
he's yellow,
yeah,
he's
it
red.
doesn't, Dave, and Byron's like, does it matter?
It doesn't matter at all.
No,
Probably
it
doesn't matter.
Skin is.
Yeah.
And to tell you the honest truth, Jesus was Jewish.
Yes, he was.
He was a Jewish carpenter. That's why you see the signs on the back of some people's vehicles. My boss is a Jewish carpenter.
Right.
He was olive skinned. If you've ever seen a real Jewish person, they're olive skinned. They're not black. They're not white. They're the color of this man right here.
Olive skin. I call it olive skin. Brown skin. It don't matter. I don't care.
Look, but it matters little because his words are what I follow, not the color of his skin.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to bring up one more thing. Whatever happened to the teachings of Martin Luther King? Can anybody tell me?
They don't teach it in school anymore. They don't educate our kids. They use a leftist narrative now in our school system.
Yes, they do. And that's
Every
part of the
school
problem.
system in the United States, all the way through college.
That's part of the problem. That is part of the problem. We are taught that everything in this country that is good is bad. There's nothing this country has ever done that is good. Especially if a Republican did it. And by the way, Martin Luther King was a Republican. I don't care what Trump says, what Trump does. As long as he governs the way he should govern this country. And that's what he's doing. The narrative that's being spun on him is because they don't like the tactics that he uses. Because the other side is very familiar with those tactics. Because they are the ones that created them. He's using the left's tactics against the left. And they cannot stand it because they don't know how to fight it. They're used to Republicans folding like little children when they go, "You're a racist."
Yeah. So,
I mean,
and that's exactly right.
And Trump, I saw a comment about Trump being a communist. Trump is nowhere near a communist. Trump is a capitalist, period.
Right.
He is a multi-billionaire that has built his life on capitalism.
Right.
Now,
Well, we're getting ready to shut the show down, ladies and gentlemen. I caught you, Dave, right there out of the corner of my eye.
one more sports question for you.
Yeah, hit me with a sports question.
We did a little bit of
All
sports.
right, hit me with a sports
That's
question.
politically charged. This is politically charged too. Tell me about my boy Brett Favre. I am a little bit upset with my boy Brett Favre. As you well know, we've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
Brett Favre is one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time.
Of all
I care
time.
less about the
All
Green
time.
Bay Packers.
Yep.
But if I had to
An
start,
autographed football of Brett Favre.
Oh, yeah,
He
I
was
love
a
Brett
Green
Favre.
Bay
if I had to
Packers for that
start
year.
a greatest of all time team, there's a lot of great quarterbacks, and it hurts me to my heart to say I wouldn't start Roger Staubach. But I've watched Brett Favre through his career. He is one of the most gutsy players I have ever seen,
From the state of Mississippi.
and he would be my first pick. But what he's done and said about Colin Kaepernick right now,
Yes.
Oh my God, he's taken one too many hits to the head.
Yes, he has. And, somebody did mention Brett Favre. I think it was
He's
Sarge.
being pressured.
Of course he's being pressured. I'm sorry, I'm going to let you answer that, Dave, now that I've read it.
Well, I want to answer it fully, and I want to get into the root of this. And I'm going to tell you what. Let's leave a cliffhanger. I'll answer that on Saturday.
There you go.
I will answer that for you on Saturday.
That works.
This will give you a chance to read exactly what Byron's talking about Brett Favre, and I will get into that here in just a few minutes, on Saturday show. Excuse me. Just want to thank everybody. I see a lot of great comments here. Lisa Thomason Moody said, "Yep, you can preach it. Everything was going good." Dwight Allen says, "Bubba sucks." Bubba Wallace says, "Publicity stunt driver." Any pictures of the garage door? News. Yeah. Steve Underhill's watching. Thank you.
An FBI investigation, an actual FBI investigation went into that. Yes.
There's enough
Rope
hate.
to pull down the door.
There's enough hate crap in this country for an idiot to start this up. That's Kenneth Wilkerson.
That's exactly right.
Remove the Confederate flag and then go to Talladega, and there was a noose. How ridiculous is that? It's close to the public, so it's in the circuit. Who's responsible? Well, we're hoping. If there is anything
there's
to be
nothing
responsible
responsible for it.
there's no responsibility.
There's no responsibility. There's
Right.
no hate crime.
There was no hate crime whatsoever.
The
It's been
FBI
there since October 2019.
Hey, Dave, do you agree with this? Dwight Allen said this: "Green privilege is the only privilege."
Yeah.
Money.
I like it, Dwight Allen. Yeah,
Yeah.
No, Dwight. I understand what you're saying.
I understand
but
what he's saying, too.
I don't believe that's it. I believe there's a spiritual side to this country too, and that's a great privilege.
Kenneth says, "This is sickening. I've never been given anything due to the color of my skin and being a female. I've worked my bottom off for everything that I have. If they would do their research first, the first slaves were white, owned by a black man."
No.
The
The first slave that was owned in this country was a black man who was an indentured servant to another black man.
Correct.
When his indenture ended, he sued his former indentured servant, and the courts put him in permanent slavery. That's how that happened.
Wow.
But we don't teach history anymore, so we don't know that. We also don't.
Oh, Leanne, don't even say that. Oh, my God. Do we have a federal holiday for anyone by name? President's Day is a president, not the same, and you can't erase our history regardless. How many statues, and do you think they're going to take down or deface and take down Mount Rushmore next?
That is on the block. They're actually asking for the removal of George Washington and Andrew
Jefferson?
Jefferson. Yes, Thomas Jefferson.
Jefferson.
I will personally arm myself.
I hope not, Leanne. I'm glad that you said
I
that.
will
I wasn't even
personally
thinking about
arm
Mount
myself.
Rushmore.
Yeah.
I haven't even heard that.
Talking about that. Oh, and guess what? No more Eskimo pies. Sorry.
Well,
Well, don't go buy it at the store.
Oh, I'm glad you said that, something about food. The family of Aunt Jemima is suing that company to keep the name there.
Yes.
Good.
Thank you, Black Lives Matters. You're destroying one of a piece of American history that's actually good. From a slave to a millionaire.
Yeah.
It's an American success story.
And you know what she did with that money? She gave to great causes.
Yes,
she
did.
took a lot of that money and gave to great causes.
She was a
She was a great
American.
Yes, a great American. That's the way I look at her. She was a great American.
You know what makes America great? We are a melting pot of all nationalities.
If everybody would realize that, Dave, it would be a greater country, wouldn't it?
There is no one or the other. It's all.
You can't say melting pot of society anymore. It's not taught in the schools. People are going to look at you like you're a nut. Diversity. Well, guess what? This is what diversity gets you.
Mm-hmm.
You separate everybody. Everybody's not on an equal playing field. You start doing things like segregate people. Remember that terrible time where we segregated everybody from everybody? Well, stop that. Stop this silliness with all of these socialists that are in our government. Get away from them.
All right, and there was a lot more great comments there that I'm not going to be able to get to tonight, ladies and gentlemen, but maybe we can get to them Somehow, maybe we can go back and watch the show. I'll try to write some of these down. But I want to thank everybody for joining in. Yes, Honduran and Panamanian. Yes, Leanne, I got you. You seen that too, didn't you? Yeah, I do. Yeah, you knew I was going to get to that.
I know. We've talked about his
We
history,
have.
history before, and
Give me a good closeout.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. It never has.
It never has. It never has with anybody. I look at everybody as a person, as a human being, as Mitchell said. That's the way I look at it.
I grew up with an older black lady in my house.
Give you a prime example. Ready?
Yeah.
I've been working on fixing these intersections and these bad traffic areas for everybody,
Yep. That's it.
for the whole
The
community.
community.
And if you don't think the food bank donates the food
Well,
to everybody,
but-
every skin color, you're wrong.
You're wrong. All lives matter. We all bleed red. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So let's see here. Anyway, everything was good so far. Sorry, Leanne, I didn't get all your comments. Stacey Creighton, thank you for joining us. It's been a great show. Just 10 seconds, final thought, real quick.
10 seconds, my final thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay. Quit destroying history. History is a teaching tool for everybody that is in the modern era. You have to look at it through the lenses of history, though, because people want to look at it through a modern eye. You're never going to see the good and the progress that came from our history.
Dave, real quick, 10 seconds. I love you, man.
I love you guys. I love you all, man.
Okay, there you
guys
go. That's
put
what
on
I
a good
was-
show. I love everybody that tunes in to this show.
Yes.
Pass the word. We need more people to know what's going on.
Man,
Thank you.
woman, child, white,
Yeah.
black, Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter.
Mr. Michael.
I need a shave and a haircut. Visit On the Spot with David Rodgers Facebook page. Click on the PayPal link. Raise money. I need help. Please.
Mitchell Gunner.
I just
Can
want
you
to
follow
say,
that up?
I just want to say, if you're sitting there, take the time, pray for our country, pray for healing, and for all this madness to stop. Like Byron Bagwell said, when you tear down these statues and you deface them, you're taking away from history. You're taking away from learning from the past to have a better future. And history can repeat itself if you don't learn the lessons that have happened in the past.
Very good.
Which we haven't.
My final thought is, I don't care what color you are, red, white, blue, green, white. I look at you as a human being. I look at you as a person. I love each and every one of you. Again, I don't care what your skin color is. We can make this all work. It takes one step at a time. We can make it work. We can change. If I can change, you can change. Everybody can change. We can make this narrative come true. I can tell you what, if it starts with this little show right here with On the Spot, that's the way we'll start it. On behalf of Byron Bagwell, Mr. Dave Holland, Mr. Michael Heater, Mr. Mitchell Gunner, I'm David Rodgers. Good night, everybody. God bless you. Tune in Saturday night for another great On the Spot show with David Rodgers. Good night, everybody.
Good night, infidels! Great show, everybody.
I got some good video, man.
Good.
That's why I wanted you to give
wanted
a
you
good
to give it
out.
that little
There's a
hook.
couple pieces in there where
Yeah.
you were looking at the camera and saying some really good stuff. Bam, bam,
About
bam.
500 people walking down the road with guns.
So why not?
Sure you can, you're right.
Sheriff will lead it.
He wouldn't care.
Off the air.